From our point of view, we are interested in learning more about how people work with CVs in bids today. So what their biggest pain points are and how they do this today. And potentially we can help them, but we would like to know more about how they work with CVs today.
Erling, what a great question. You also asked a question about the biggest pain with CVs. I'm going to answer that before I talk a bit more generically about CVs. The biggest pain with CVs is storing information in a way that is reusable and adaptable bid after bid. CVs should change depending on who you're bidding to, because the different evaluators, the different decision makers, are probably looking for different things in those same multi-capable people. But let's talk about CVs in general and talk about CV as a proof of capability. Resume versus a CV, what that means, the use of photographs, and finally, the use of summaries. So let's go through the 4 steps. CV is a proof of capability. The same way of completing a project previously for building a bridge means you're probably able to build bridges into the future. It's the same with CVs. If someone's got a long track record, consistent track record of success of delivering a project, then they're probably going to be successful again. That's what we're looking for in a CV. And that's why I'm a big fan of resumes over CVs, because a resume tends to tell people what you've done rather than who you are. So what you've done is really important. I don't care whether you call it a resume or a CV, but what I want to know is what information do I need to know as an evaluator, as a decision maker, that's relevant to what I'm trying to decide today about this person that you're putting forward. Photographs. This can have an upside and a downside. One of the awkward things about photographs is the way the human brain works. If I show you a photograph of someone, as you indeed see this image of me, the first time you saw the image of me, if you don't already know me, your brain made up a picture of me, what I am like, what my background is, what my experience is, who I am, whether you like me or whether you don't like me. That's what the human brain does, and that's one of the dangers with using photos in CVs. Well, we want to try and avoid that. So I have a rule of thumb, which is if the customer, the client, the decision maker, the evaluator has met the person, that is, they've formed an impression of that particular individual, why not include a photograph? But if they don't know them, then you might be opening up a well of problems about, well, I don't like the look of that person. I once had an experience of submitting a CV with a photograph on. The only photograph we could find of this particular project manager was his staff photograph from 10 years previously. And when we went to the discussion with the client, the first thing they said was, why are you putting forward such a young person to deliver this project? They hadn't read the CV, they'd looked at the picture. So be quite wary of photographs. Summaries. I don't want to read the CV, I might be interested, but I'm not really interested at the time I'm doing an evaluation. So it's very important that at the top of the CV is a summary, a few sentences or a few bullet points that summarize why this person is the right person for this role. And I'm a massive fan personally, outside of the CVs or at the front of the CVs, of including a table. Very simple table. List down the left-hand side the individuals that are going to be part of this project, the people that we're putting forward. List across the top the competencies that are required to deliver this project. And then mark up who in the team has which competencies. This gives the evaluator an index to go and look at the CVs. So as an evaluator, I'm looking to see that Linda has capability A, C, D and E. I go there on their CV. I'm not going to study Mark's because you're only claiming B for him anyway. And what pretty much tends to happen is once they've checked a few, they tend to believe the rest. So that's, I believe, how we should be using CVs in bids or resumes. Really interested to hear if anyone has any other thoughts or other experiences that they'd be willing to share.